Hey, what's up everyone, it's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'm coming at you with a book review. Once I finished this book, I was like, I have to do a book review. I don't care how long the book review is, I just have to share my thoughts and how much I enjoyed every single moment of this book. And it's a middle grade that was just released early this month in July. And no surprise, that book is Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is her debut middle grade book. And with Tiffany D. Jackson, her writing, she just does not disappoint. Like if she does adult, if she does YA, like I mean, she's already done picture books. Now this is her middle grade, her debut middle grade book. And it was from Scholastic, which Scholastic has done an amazing job with the cover alone. The cover is beautiful. It makes me want to read it. I'm like, you have the birds in the background, then you have this huge mansion in the background, and then she's in the water, and then I just love her hair and everything like that. But once again, Tiffany D. Jackson does not disappoint. And so when this book released, I was like, I have to have this book on my shelves. And this is, once again, a middle grade, but it's also a mystery thriller. And the main character, her name is Kalani. She is from Brooklyn, and she is visiting, pretty much staying with a friend, family friends at Martha's Vineyard. And as we are knowing more about Kaylani, we get to know more about her background, about her father, about her mother, mostly about her father, and what motivates her to become a lawyer. I don't want to get too much into it. I really just want y'all to read it for yourselves. I don't want this to be a spoilery review. That's the last thing I want to do, is spoil it for y'all. But the aspects that I loved about this book, let me just put it this way, is I love the pacing. I know some people will say that this book was slow paced, but I don't think so. I feel like when we are into a book and it's a middle grade and it's not even like 300 pages worth, you have to take the time to character develop. And so that's when we get to know more about Kalani and herself, about her interests, about what she loves, about what motivates her, when it comes especially with her father. What her father has taught her regarding being in new places, as having awareness of knowing your surroundings, of knowing where your exits are, right? Like I loved every single moment of that. I loved how it talks about her father was working for a firm, and then that's when things hit the fan when it came to his circumstances. But once again, I loved Kaylani's, the main character, her motivation to do something. She was pretty much playing a detective, but also a lawyer as well. And like knowing her facts, like knowing her laws. Like I'm here for it. And for her to get away from Martha's Vineyard, her mother had told her like, oh, the Watsons, they're a great family. You know, your father knew them. This would be a great way for you to get away during the summer, for you to finally have some fun. Because Kalani is all about studying, all about figuring out stuff. And, you know, and her mom was like, you are a kid. Have some fun. This is your moment of having fun. You're going to be at Martha's Vineyard. And then, you know, she also realizes that the Obamas live at Martha's Vineyard. And so that also motivates her, because she's like, okay, maybe I can help my dad out, since the Obamas live here. Maybe I can get their intel, or, you know, their perspective on some things, or just to help me with my case regarding my dad. So I love that too. But once again, with the suspense of the book, it's constantly building up. And then once we get through the character development and we get into the story, and we meet all these different characters like Chadwick, Jaden, Miles, Mrs. Watson, Cassie, London, it all makes sense with the buildup. And that's what I just loved about this book. Now, if you haven't read the synopsis, I'd be more than happy to read it. So it says, beware of sharks and secrets. So, you know, Martha's Vineyard, I believe that's where the movie Jaws, or somewhere near Martha's Vineyard, I think that's where it was filmed, supposedly. So when you think, so literally when you think of this, the title, you think of like, oh my gosh, sharks. Sharks has a little bit of aspect, a little bit of sprinkles or whatever within this book, but don't think of it as like, oh my gosh, there is a shark in this book. It's not that deep. So I just want to give y'all a heads up with that. But anyway, it says, beware of sharks and secrets. Now, hella secrets in this book, so be prepared. It says, Brooklyn girl Kaylani McKinnon feels like a fish out of water. She's spending the summer with family friends in their huge house on Martha's Vineyard, and the vibe is definitely snooty. Still, there are beautiful beaches, lots of ice cream, and a ton of full of fascinating Black history, which Kalani in this book, she is a history buff, just like me. Love history, love it. And it says, plus a few kids her age who seem friendly. Until the shocking death of a teenage boy. Was it a drowning, a shark attack, or the unthinkable murder? Kaylani is determined to solve the mystery, but her investigation uncovers shattering secrets that could change her own life as she knows it, if she survives. This thrilling middle grade debut from New York Times bestselling author Tiffany D. Jackson is packed with heart-pounding twists and turns and will keep readers guessing until the end, which it did. It definitely kept me guessing until the end. I was trying to figure out who did this, who did what, why did she lie about this, what was up with her and him, what is their history. I was going through it, like, and I tell you, for this book to be only not even 300 pages and it's making you guess on who did this and who did what, that's the type of book I want to read. And then also it's a middle grade on top of that. Sign me up. Like, I'm here for it. So like, this book did not disappoint. I read this in one sitting, loved every single moment of it. I'm like, I have to share my opinions about this book. So of course I gave it a 5 out of 5 star. Of course I did. I have no complaints whatsoever about the book at all. I love the flow. I love the writing. I love Tiffany D. Jackson. So anything she writes, I'm going to read. Like, I even read the picture books with my kids. Like, anything she brings out into this world, any type of literature, which also is art in my opinion, I am going to read and I am going to support. But I just love this book so much. I don't know what else to say about, like, it was a fast-paced read. It kept me intrigued. It kept me wanting to know more. Like, this is a page turner for real. Like, when anybody says like this book is a page turner, this one for sure is a page turner, and you will be consumed to the point where you are going to read it in one sitting. Trust and believe. And also with this book, I also listened to I hybrid read. So not only did I read the physical book, but I was also listening to the audio. So I was following along as I'm listening to the audio because I had some things I had to do at home. So the audiobook is also on point. So if you don't get this book, definitely support your local library, or also check Libby or Hoopla, whatever it is, to listen to the audio, because it does not disappoint. I don't want y'all to miss out on this. Once again, this is Tiffany D. Jackson's debut, like middle grade debut book. And this was amazing. Like, she did her thing with this. And so once again, anything that Tiffany D. Jackson writes, for sure I'm going to read it, which I have read all her stuff. But 5 out of 5 stars for Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. Once again, it's a suspense builder. A lot of stuff is definitely going to take place once we get through that character development of knowing more about Kaylani and her background, about her father, and also about the people she is going to be spending the summer with, and their house, and things like that, and what connects the Watsons with her father and whatnot. Like, it's nothing but like a puzzle, which again, it's a mystery thriller. So there's going to be puzzle pieces, and Kaylani does her thing. She does her thing. And yes, it's a middle grade and she's a teenager or whatnot, but she was finding out a lot of things. She's just a clever girl, and I loved every single moment with Kaylani, because she, like, whatever she would say, I'll be thinking in my head, I'm like, Kaylani, you were right on point. And one thing that I will say, like, when it comes to middle grade, it gives you the perspective of a kid, of a child, and how their brain works. And that's what I also find intriguing as well, because, you know, as an adult, we think like, oh, these kids don't know nothing, they ain't really paying attention, they don't notice anything, but they notice a lot of stuff. They notice everything. They notice everything. Like, especially like my kids, for example, like, they notice things. They notice when things are changing around them. They pick up on things. And I think people have to be realized, like, when you open a book and it's a middle grade or a picture book, you are going into the perspective in the mind of a child and their way of thinking. And their way of thinking is so spectacular. And it's so very interesting. But anyways, I definitely recommend anybody to read Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. I am an adult and I really enjoyed this middle grade. I feel like you could, Like, and I'm definitely a more of a high fantasy reader, but this right here is definitely it. But I don't want to give any spoilers. I want y'all to go into this book knowing that it's very suspenseful. It's mystery thriller. A lot of action is taking place. A lot of puzzle pieces and things they're putting together, pretty much doing some detective work and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely recommend that you pick this book up, whether you purchase it or support your local library or Libby, whatever the case may be, or Kindle Unlimited, whatever it may be that you use. But just go ahead and pick this book up. But thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed my book review. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope we all are staying healthy and staying safe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye everyone.